Tonight, after finding out the shocking truth, do you think the traveler will still be alive? Back at the Sumeru Cafe, another tale or another old storytelling?
Do you know about Tales of Shariar?
Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it. My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be.
And after noticing herself about blurry memories, something important to do but could not even remember.
How about you? What are you up to now?
I noticed that I have some blurry memories after saving Irminsul. I almost feel like there's still something extremely important I need to do. But I can't remember what it is.
Ad Astra Abyssos, fellow travelers. Good evening, fellow travelers. Last night's episode, we get to find out the shocking truth about Ade, who turned out to be Clothar. Moments later, the traveler came into a shock. Will the traveler be alright? Let's now find out as we go to the first story for tonight.
You're awake! Oh, thank goodness you're awake! Paimon was worried sick! Traveler? Traveler?
What happened while you were unconscious? I checked the ley lines nearby. It appears that the Abyss tampered with them, and they've been in turmoil ever since. Information and memories flow within the ley lines. What did you witness? You mean Clothar Alberich? After founding the Abyss Order, his faith in the Abyss led him to do a great many things. But the curse of immortality continued to torment his body and mind. And in the end, neither his faith nor the Abyss he worshipped could save him. After 100 years, he lost his mind completely and was never seen again. Yet his dark legacy lived on. The defiled statue that we encountered previously was just one perverse product of his use of abyssal power during his life. You could say that. She wouldn't be the Abyss Order's princess otherwise.
Are you alright? You have a troubled look on your face. What happened?
So you saw her memories from centuries ago, through your own eyes. It all but defies belief. Still, as I'd suspected, the notion of the Loom of Fate did indeed rear its head during that time. And it seems closely connected to Clothar Alberich's son, Caribert, and what happened to him. And yet your sister never breathed a word of this incident to me. I wonder, was that the moment that she decided to go down this path? Indeed. Clearly, this series of events sparked a long period of deep contemplation. This was where it all began. What is it?
The field? What does that have to do with anything?
You mean here? Well, let's start digging and see.
You scared the Duke out of Paimon! Did you rebury them yet?
A male and female skeleton, buried together. Interestingly, the male skeleton appears to have been interred much later, and it's holding a silk scarf in its hand. But what does this mean? And how did you know that there were bodies buried here? What? That's impossible. Unless Clothar Alberich finally found a way to rid himself of the curse. This all raises far too many questions. I need time to think, and to search my memories for some missing pieces. We should part ways here.
Huh? You're just gonna leave? Why? know?
It's better that we split up for now. I think that he might have seen you.
Who's he?
Yes. I have my suspicions as to his identity, but I need to confirm some other details before I can be sure. If the time is right, I will tell you when we next meet.
But what do you mean that he saw the Traveler? How is that possible?
I fear that while these things would limit anyone else, they are no obstacle to him.
What? Why? What is he?
All right, let's leave it there. Get some rest. Goodbye.
There goes Dane. And just like that, it's back to being the two of us again, huh? What is it? Huh?
Ah, and here goes the traveler with Paimon. Of course, the most important thing, like most of us should consider, is more on safety and comfort. And there you have it. The traveler stays alive and awake. Moving on to the next story involves Kale and Faruzan talking particularly on the tales of Shahryar.
Another day, another empty room.
Excuse me? But are you Mada?
Yes! Are you here to listen to my story?
Well, we actually came to ask about something else.
I see.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it, more or less. So, how can this terribly unpopular storyteller help you?
Do you know about Tales of Shahryar?
Huh? Tales of Shahryar? Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it. My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and I found that it's even less popular than The Legend of Antara.
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shahryar was written by his master's master's master. He also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher, and that even the sages liked the series. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single person in Sumeru who hadn't read his books.
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shahryar now?
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends. One day everyone likes stories like that, and the next day their tastes change completely. Instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend the story. To tap into popular trends, he added a lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shahryar in the end?
In the end, there's no ending. The great-great-grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following whatever trends were popular at the time, but the trends kept changing right as he published his books. He got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research instead.
What? So there's no ending? The readers didn't care?
By that time, only a very small number of people were reading Tales of Shahryar. Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work possibly have been that popular? The only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left is the original draft of Legend of Antara. He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about Legend of Antara, he'd even quote from those theses. My master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to draw in a huge crowd. But even he won't recite Tales of Shahryar due to its ever-changing writing style and its lack of an ending.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasted through the years.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of something like a story. In the end, Only time can separate the classics from the fads.
Only time? Madame Farazan? It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed to be great aren't so after all.
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books at first, but in the end, I realized that I couldn't get into them. No matter how good those stories are, I can't improve my skills if I can't bring myself to read them in the first place. I think the best books for me are the ones I like.
Huh. Indeed. That is true. Readers' interests and trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted. What was popular 100 years ago could be completely forgotten in modern times. And yet, 100 years as far as history is concerned is but a blink of an eye. If Tales of Shariar hadn't chased after trends and instead stuck to its original style from start to finish, it might have stood some chance of gaining renewed popularity. No, even if that didn't happen, at least it would be a work that was true to itself.
Huh? Our conversation just got a lot more serious.
I don't really get what you're talking about, but it does sound sensible. Looks like I also have to hang in there and tell Antara's story well.
How unseemly. I almost got carried away because of a single book. Well then, we should get back to the matter of our teaching material. It looks like we can't use Tales of Shariar now. No, it's much too old.
Oh.
Kale, you found a book that you liked at the bookstall, yes?
Yes, but I don't really...
Then we'll use that book as our teaching material. Now that I think about it, using a book that you like is the most suitable choice for teaching you how to read. As for the academia, as long as we come up with an appropriate course name, we should be able to get away with this. My, it sounds like you've dealt with the academia before. Let's go with that. Now then, let's return to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this Onibudo for Kale. Ah, but if I wish to use it as teaching material, I have to read it first.
Huh?
Speaking of which, other than third eye of perception and illusory mirror, I also espy some unfamiliar phrases from the reader's messages at the back of the book. Such things as, even if it reminds me of my dark history, I still can't help but be drawn in by the story. And the author has written all the things that I only dare whisper into a tree hollow. Why do people use dark history to refer to awkward or embarrassing memories? Is this some slang that was invented in the last century? If one of our learning objectives was researching linguistic changes over the past 100 years, it might make it easier to get these books approved as teaching material.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone burdened by fate, fighting against the world, etc. But as they grew older, they started to become embarrassed by such memories. Some would write those fantasies into novels, while others would entrust such tales to tree hollows.
Mata? You know, I suddenly have the urge to hear a story about Antara.
Huh? Why so suddenly?
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies. Now, let me tell you all about the ancient hero, Antara.
And then here goes storyteller Mada. Genshin Tonight will be right back with another story to share right after the break. Welcome back. And after the moment on saving Irminsul, Dendro Archon Nahida noticed that she was having some blurry memories, and she felt that there is still something important that she has to do, but could not even remember. Moving on to the next story lies on the southern entrance path to Sumeru City, where the traveler and Paimon meet the Lesser Lord Kusanagi.
Nahida? Nahida! Paimon didn't think we'd run into you here.
Oh, hey there. It's been a while, hasn't it? What have you two been up to? Seems like you've been enjoying yourselves.
How about you? What are you up to now?
I'm just looking out for some leads while getting some fresh air. I noticed that I have some blurry memories after saving Irminsul. I almost feel like there's still something extremely important I need to do. But I can't remember what it is.
What is that? Don't worry, we'll help you remember.
Thank you so much. Since you're willing to help, I have something I'd like to show you.
Ooh, it's beautiful. It looks like it's filled with some kind of power.
I found it in the sanctuary of Suristana, but I have no recollection of it whatsoever. It's filled with pure elemental power that is quite similar to mine, but yet it's also a little different. It's very likely that it's connected to my foggy memory, but I can't figure out what it is.
Traveler, do you have any ideas? You know, Nahida, we just happen to be going on an adventure right now. If we find anything, we'll be sure to let you know right away.
Thanks, you two. I didn't mean to trouble you again.
Don't mention it. Besides, it seems you've got a lot on your mind, and we'd like to help.
Hey, get out! You shouldn't be around here! I'm sorry, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Fungi don't usually come near this place. Last warning! Get out before I kick you out, you hear?
Hang on. I think it's trying to tell us something.
But Great Dendro Archon, it's a monster!
Please, don't worry. I think I understand. Seems that it wants us to follow it.
You can understand it?
Even though different creatures have varying habits and ways of communicating, the emotions we experience are all the same. I can feel its anxiety and fear. It's in dire need of our help.
Well, fungi are kinda cute, but... that's true. Okay, let's go take a look.
All right, lead the way, little fungus. It appears it was in a hurry because of this unconscious fungus.
Seems like they might be family. So maybe this fungus wanted to bring Nahida here to help its family member.
Probably. Although fungi are simple creatures, they're very sensitive to elemental power. Maybe it noticed me on my way back and thought I'd be able to help. I'll take a look. I should be able to help if it's just a common illness.
What is it, Nahida?
Strange. Very strange. This fungus didn't develop from a spore. It's an elemental life form.
Huh? An elemental life form?
Yes. Although the fungi you normally see are capable of using elemental powers, they're merely borrowing elemental power from nature around them. As for this fungus, it has elemental power flowing through it. Definitely not anything like your typical fungus. Exactly. This is very interesting. I've never seen anything like it.
So this is a first even for Nahida.
But that's not all. There's a large void within its elemental power. The void is stopping the elemental power from flowing normally, which must be why it fainted.
So do you think it'll wake up if we can fill the void?
Yes, and I just so happen to be good at this sort of thing. I'll see what I can do right away. My power was compatible. Looks like everything is fine now.
Lord of Dendro? Is it really the Lord of Dendro? Oh, I can't believe the Lord of Dendro saved me. Thank you, as well as the stranger and creature next to you.
Ah! It can talk?
Oh, I didn't expect such a strange creature to make a sound like that. Seems I'm just as shocked as you are.
What? Of course Paimon can talk. Paimon isn't a strange creature. Paimon's just... Paimon!
Hello, Paimon. I am not yet able to evaluate an organism's intelligence from its appearance. I will only know you are able to speak once you have spoken.
Oh, well, no need to take it seriously. It's no big deal. But does Paimon really look so dumb that people might think Paimon doesn't know how to talk?
You misunderstand, Paimon. A mouth is used for eating, breathing, and other functions that are more important than speaking. So a creature may not speak even if it has a mouth. I've never seen a creature like you before, so I dared not make the assumption that you could speak. Even if you do possess a number of human traits, it is still very common for creatures to have similar external forms but completely different interiors, just like fungi and slimes.
Did this fungus study at the academia? It seems even more talkative than Paimon.
You're not a fungus, are you?
That's correct. This might be surprising to you, and I'm sure that you must have questions. Let's find somewhere else to talk. It might startle my fellow family members if I speak too much using this strange voice. Me, 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 me. It says that it's very thankful for your help.
Even if there are ones I've never seen with my own eyes, I thought I possessed all the relevant knowledge about them. However, even if I were to lay out the traits of all elemental life forms, you don't seem to match any of them. What are you? And where did you come from?
I come from an ancient race. We have existed for a very long time, possibly longer than any records in existence. My home was filled with flowing water and great mountains. Lush grass covered the land, and my family and I lived in bliss and happiness. Until the apocalypse came and changed my home forever. A horrifying power consumed all there was. The seeds of catastrophe nested and grew inside of us, twisting and warping us, causing us to lose control. We were victims of the apocalypse, yet in time, we also became the apocalypse itself.
The apocalypse?
I'm not sure what it means either. It sounds like some kind of old fable.
It's a long and complicated story. It will take me some time to explain it clearly.
Don't worry, we'll listen. Please continue.
I was lucky and managed to survive. Afterward, I left with some of my family and came to Sumeru to search for a way to rescue my homeland. We came in contact with many species and learned from their cultures and knowledge, hoping to understand the truth behind the apocalypse. We later found out that humans know the power of the apocalypse and refer to it as forbidden knowledge.
Your home was destroyed by forbidden knowledge? Does that mean you're from the desert?
It said that they are looking for a way to save their homeland, but the catastrophe of the desert should have ended a long time ago.
The Lord of Dendro is correct. We are not from the desert. I would very much like to tell you the location of my homeland, but unfortunately, I've forgotten. That may sound a little odd, as it is very important to both me and my family.
Yes, how could you forget?
I am a life form that was contaminated by the apocalypse. A part of my knowledge and memory was taken away as the contamination inside of me was purged.
Ah, I get it now. So the void of elemental power was left behind from when the forbidden knowledge was purged. I'm sorry. I hadn't considered that kind of possibility.
That's okay. Lord of Dendro, there is no need to apologize. Without your help, I would have lost more than just my knowledge and memory. And not only did you save me, but you've also already rid the world of the remaining forbidden knowledge, right?
That's right. The forbidden knowledge is no more, and your homeland should be safe now.
My home should be safe now. We can go home. For the longest time, this moment has only seemed like a dream. I never knew it would become a reality so quickly. I was unable to fulfill our calling. I never found a way to save my homeland, and I have even forgotten where it is.
It's not your fault. You've already done everything you can. Every species paid a grave price in the fight against forbidden knowledge. This is not a responsibility you should carry on your own. You mentioned that there were other survivors besides yourself. Where are they? Maybe they'll remember.
The apocalypse put us through immense pain. Many of my family members have already met their end. I'm not sure who else is still alive.
Don't worry, I should be able to find them. Just leave it to me. I'll leave the rainforest to the Aranara. And as for the city, there are a few nice kids that should be willing to help.
Oh yeah, they'll give us a hand.
Give me a moment. I'll contact them right now. That should do it. It may take some time to find them, so let's wait for a bit.
Thank you, Lord of Dendro. We all believe that you will keep your promises. The moment I saw you when I awoke, I had a feeling you were here because of the agreement.
Agreement?
You might not remember, but this is a prophecy that we deeply believe in. That the Lord of Dendro will bring us home once the catastrophe comes to an end.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry. There are also some blurry segments in my memory as well. But I'm very concerned about your homeland. This is something I should help with. It's really no trouble to me at all.
Would you all be willing to come with me somewhere as we wait? The more family members that can return home with me, the better.
But didn't you say that you don't know where they are?
Yes, but I know their end. I will explain it to you along the way.
And there we met a floating hydrofungus, and as we go deeper behind the apocalypse and the forbidden knowledge, find out on the next episode. Well, that's it for Wednesday's episode. Storytelling from the world of Teyvat continues as we explore and witness every story that counts across 7 nations. This is Chanoshino, your fellow traveler, saying thank you for watching and have a good night.